There's definitely more people out looking at homes. So I've got a tracker that tells us actually how many times people are looking at homes. It tracks the lockbox usage. So we can actually see how much activity there is week to week. And it's definitely more than last year.
Help, I need some guidance. Help, selling and buying. Help, I need some real estate. Help.
So Tego, here we are in our podcast studio. You keep making it better and improved. You know, we've been doing this for over 10 years, bringing real estate news and other bantering. So what episode are we on right now?
527. And you know what? You know how many episodes it took us to have more than one camera? It took us 526. Because now, here, Sam, let's see. Okay, so now we've got a camera for me. And let's see, go, okay, switch to Tracy. Now we got a camera for Tracy. And so, yes, so, we're real fancy here at Venturi Realty Group.
So your tech genius. It's just so much fun to keep adding to our podcast studio. So here we are.
My excuse is it's a hobby. Hobby.
Okay.
Yes. No, it's great. Gosh, lots happening in real estate as always. And it is, we're kind of sneaking up on we call the spring selling season for real estate here in Albuquerque. We're the Venturi Realty Group, and we've been helping people with real estate a long time. But this week, Tracy, the legislature's been going on up in Santa Fe now it was a 90-day session, and they're almost done. So, figure that out. But there were like 90 some bills that or related legislation to do with real estate and housing. And boy, I've been following it like crazy, as you know, and posting on some of the stuff. Some of it's controversial, and so we'll get into that. Tracy, you got a neighborhood of the week you want to talk about?
I do. We're going to be talking about Anderson Hills, which is in Southwest Albuquerque.
That's great, and that's where a lot of new construction, when we think about new construction in Albuquerque proper, that's what I think of.
And, we'll talk about it, but Anderson Hills really doesn't have a lot of new construction going on right now. But when they first announced Anderson Hills, huge master plan area with lots of land, and a lot of it is already built out.
Yeah. And guess what? We've got some market data.
I bet we do.
Yeah, I got a few things. Actually, let's just start there right now. I feel like, I see it in the data that the spring season is heating up. There's definitely more activity. There's definitely more people out looking at homes. So I've got a tracker that tells us actually how many times people are looking at homes. It tracks the lockbox usage. So we can actually see how much activity there is week to week. And it's definitely more than last year. The other thing I track is like the number of homes that are under contract, pending. It's up. It's about 17% more are under contract this week in Albuquerque versus 1 year ago. The other thing is inventory. And, we've been talking about inventory. I know that's such a lingo thing to say, but it's homes for sale, the number of homes for sale. And now we just got back to the same number of homes we had for sale in 2020, in March 2020. We know what happened then, but it's interesting. So we're back to more choices for buyers, right? And then we're still below what we had in 2019 in March of that year, but inventory is coming back. And then the other thing, go ahead.
So I know you know the stats, but I think I said on our podcast last week and the week before that I can feel it, right? And I said, I believe a lot of our recent activity and upturn in home buyers is the weather, because it started getting warm sooner than normal, right? We've had above normal temperatures. Okay, we've had an anomaly here or there, but a lot of the days for the last 3 or 4 weeks have been 10, 15 degrees above normal. And that's what usually happens during spring break, which this week is spring break for a lot of kids in our community. And it's usually right about now when things are starting to warm up and we start to see more buyers out looking at homes.
Well, the thing that was interesting, there's one data point that really jumped out at me this week. Well, two actually. The first one is the number of new homes coming on the market, new listings as we call them, people listing. And this week there are 140. If you go back the last 90 days, there are about 140 homes, single family detached homes coming on the market per week, which is the highest we've seen really in the last 5 years. More people are putting their homes on the market. And that was something we talked about a lot in the last year. Remember, we were just saying, people aren't listing, people aren't moving. So there are a lot more choices for buyers. The other thing that's interesting, though, is we've got a lot of homes that have reduced price, which is not. Now, I want to be careful because that doesn't mean that prices are coming down. That just means that the list prices, a lot more people have had to reduce their list price from where they started at, basically. And that can mean that's a whole lot of different reasons, and we don't need to go down that rabbit hole. But it is interesting that, yes, there's a lot more listings, but people are having to reduce price at a higher level than we've seen in the last few years, for sure. So that's the quick and dirty. If you want to check this out, I just spent some time over the weekend updating our tracker on our website. In fact, Sam, let me share that with everybody here. If you pull it up on our website, if you go to our website at welcomehomeabq.com, I've got the weekly housing market tracker you can see here, and it's under the market tab. And as you scroll through it, it gives you a weekly tracking of what's going on. For example, here, if you're looking at this online, and looking at me, is inventory. So number of homes on the market this week, there were 1,433 versus 949 1 year ago. So it gives you a real sense in real time what's going on in the market. So
Good stuff as usual, Tego. So today, when we're recording this, is St. Patrick's Day.
that's right. We both have our green on.
I do, and mine probably looks funny under my jacket. It says "Lucky, lucky, lucky mama," and I am a lucky mama, right?
Yeah, as it kind of cuts off on your jacket, it kind of says
looks like it says icky or something. Yeah, that's why I thought I gotta talk about my shirt because it's lucky, lucky, lucky mama.
Yeah,
and I am. So Tego, I have a few things to talk
Sure.
about. We got a great testimonial this week. Somebody left on Google for Lisa Pino, one of our rock star realtors that work with us. If you go and look at testimonials for our team, I think this morning I saw there was 774 or something, and that's just on Google. When you go to Yelp or Zillow or other sites, I think Zillow, we're over 1,000. Anyway, good job, Lisa. She helped a client that was out of area. I mean, she does that a lot. She works with, people everywhere, but it was just a really nice testament to Lisa and how much they appreciated. Basically, it said, you want it done right, go to Lisa Pino with Venturi Realty. She works hard for her clients and is always available. Can you expand it, Sam? It says viewful review.
Oh, I can. I'm sorry. That's me. I'm
you.
driving.
So she's always available.
You got it on
for
the screen, Sam?
questions. She guided us through the process and was there even when things looked bleak. She is the perfect liaison between
got my
everyone
mouse in the way,
involved
sorry.
in the home buying process. Thank you, Lisa, all caps. So good job, Lisa. We appreciate our clients that take time to let us know. And, we do navigate. That's a lot of what we do as realtors is navigate through some hard times here and there. Buyers do inspections and then they have a list of what they think the house should be like. And we have to work through some of those things. We work through lending issues. We work through life with people. So we appreciate you taking the time to give feedback. Tego, can I talk about Anderson Hills?
Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to pull up the map here again. If you're online, I'm going to share the map here so we can kind of get a lay of the land where we are.
I'm going to see if you can go right to Anderson Hills because
that's
it's
really
just a
easy.
small part of the southwest area of Albuquerque.
So if we zoom in, we're going to go down and right there.
Yep, you're right. Can you zoom in further?
I will. I'm trying.
We're west of 98th and Unser, and we're just north of Dennis Chavez Boulevard. So Etrisco Heritage Academy is on the other side of the road from Anderson Hills, and there's several different neighborhoods within Anderson Hills, so we're just talking about Anderson Hills en masse right now. I remember, I think I was fairly new to real estate, Tego, so probably 15 to 20 years ago, they announced that Anderson Hills was going to be this huge master planned community. And I thought, wow, we will never build that out. Well, we haven't quite. There's still some lots available in some neighborhoods to open. Right now, There's only a few new homes, newly constructed homes for sale. So it seems like for a while there was several builders and you could go find a new home. Right now there's a few new homes done or lots that you can build on. Prices there in new homes are starting at $335,000 and going up. Larger home, maybe 365, 375. So if you're interested in that, let us know. But I want to just kind of give the stats. I know you're the statomatic, Tego, but here we go anyway. There are 31 properties currently listed for sale in the Anderson Hills area. They average 1,700 square feet, so a good size. They've been averaging 39 days on market right now for the active properties. And the average price for them right now is $352,000. So of the pending, there are 21 in pending sale, same square footage, roughly just over 1,700 square feet, averaging about $205 a square foot and 39 days on market until they got an accepted offer. So just over a month for people thinking of selling their house. How long is it going to take for me to get that correct offer, the one that I can use? It's right now it's about 39 days. Closed sales in the last year, there's been a lot. So it's 171 closed sales in Anderson Hills. Average price per square foot was $209 and averaged 32 days on market from going on the market to having an accepted offer. Average sale price $328,400. So as far as affordability goes, the homes in Anderson Hills are all much newer than some parts of town because it's a newer planned community.
Yeah, well, it was built, most of it was built post the housing issues we had in 08, 09, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like in the last 15 years
Yeah,
or so.
yeah.
So most of the houses that people are buying as resale there are newer homes,
Yeah.
in addition to there's still newly constructed homes to buy there. So some of the features and things for Anderson Hills, they have a walking trail around the whole community. There are parks within each little subdivision within Anderson Hills. There is one neighborhood in there that is a gated neighborhood. The schools nearby, so I just mentioned Atrisco Heritage Academy, of course, is just right there. And there is also a charter school for 9th to 12th grade. It's called South Valley Academy Charter over on Blake Road Southwest. A lot of couple different elementary schools, and it looks like most people go to the Rudolfo Anaya Elementary School, named for famous author Rudolfo
Yep.
Anaya. There's also the George Sanchez Collaborative Community School, which is more like a charter school. So lots of variety. I know there's lots of great restaurants. I know we're pretty far south from my favorite, Morisco's Altamar, which is up closer to I-40. But there's, pizza, there's tacos, there's Chinese food, there's anything you could need. And the Super Walmart is just right there, too, was it 98th and Dennis Chavez?
So it is one part of Albuquerque that has seen some growth over the last few years, and there's more going on there.
I want to say, like, some of the people I've sold houses to in that area work on base. They work downtown. They work in Santa Fe. I had a couple that actually rode the rail runner to go south for employment in Los Lunas. So, it's a big mix in that area. Some of the normal restaurants, yes, there's a Dion's, there's a Chick-fil-A, there's Crepes and Waffles, there's a taco truck, there's Amadeo's Pizza, El Taco Loco, there's Chili's, there's Gold Street Pizza and Brew, and those are all, just minutes away.
Well, and there's a lot of great little mom and pop restaurants in the South Valley too,
Right.
Which
And
you're
carnicerias.
close to.
Yeah.
Yeah. The south part of Albuquerque has seen a good amount of growth when you think about that area in the Southwest, but then you also think about what at Mesa del Sol. That's where a lot of the projected growth is when you
Right.
talk about just Albuquerque itself.
Interesting you should say Mesa del Sol, because that was one of the communities I was thinking of featuring today, and I decided I would save that maybe for next week.
You went west, so we'll go across the river and up south of the airport for Mesa del Sol next week.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Interesting. I wanted to talk about some of this legislative stuff that's happening in Santa Fe, and I know for some people it's really boring, and they had so many bills on the docket for this session, this 90-day session, because they've got a lot that they have to accomplish. But a whole lot of them related to housing, Tracy. And I've been posting like crazy. I've been getting blasted by some people because I don't understand housing, which I kind of laugh at. But anyway, a couple big ones that I just wanted to spotlight. One of them is the formation of a housing office at the state level. And this would be a group that basically informs on housing policy for the entire state. There isn't such a thing. Most states have something like this. And what I've found over the years in following what's happening with our challenges with housing in New Mexico is we don't have a good go-to source for all of that. So I'm all for that one. That one is, I think, set to go to the full Senate floor here sometime this week. So we'll see where if that one goes through. There was a proposal dealing with rent control. Basically, it's off the table right now. It had to do with allowing municipalities to have rent control. It's dead right now. So right now, rent control in New Mexico is prohibited under state statute, and that has not changed. There's a really interesting one, and I don't know if it's actually going to get heard, but it has to do with if there's a development going on, who has legal standing to protest that project. And the city of Albuquerque did just pass something like that you have to have, certain legal standing, meaning you have to live near the property and have some sort of connection to the property. You can't be an outside entity or person coming in to oppose a project. And they're trying to do that at the state level. There's one that passed, again, just through the committee, had to do with rent control. I was telling you about it yesterday I'm sorry, not rent control, rent credit support. So if somebody has bad credit, they got in a bad situation and they have poor credit, they've got income, everything else is fine, they don't have evictions or whatever, but they just have poor credit, and because of that poor credit, they can't find a place to rent. The New Mexico Mortgage Finance Authority is going to be, the proposal is to let them put together a program to basically give a guarantee to landlords, kind of a backstop for people that have poor credit. So I like that idea. I think it's a good solution, but there's just so much related to housing going on, and most of it seems to be going in a few directions. There's a few bills that were kind of like, why are we wasting our time with this? Like banning corporate ownership of single family homes. It's
not a problem.
It's not a thing. So anyway, yeah, it was very interesting, and I've been all over it this year. So
yes, you have all weekend. And last week.
And
listening
last week,
in.
and the week before.
So
yes.
Tego, that was all like kind of heavy stuff. So
Yeah.
let's talk about
Okay.
something light. So Twitter, X,
Yeah,
I don't know. I have a hard time just saying. So on X,
on X. Yeah, I know.
I saw a debate on someone saying, I'm never going to call it X. I'm always going to call it Twitter.
Yeah.
And they were bantering and trying to convince them. So anyway, there was, a post about what sells houses, and it was very short and brief. And he said, it's really getting in the house. How does it smell? How does it feel? What's the temperature? Does it smell like dog turd? And I was like, dog turd?
Yeah.
I haven't heard that word lately. So that's lightening things up here a little bit.
Well, that post kind of went mini viral in the realtor community because it really spoke to what we know, and maybe we don't articulate very well as realtors when we're talking with people about their home.
Yeah.
And marketing their home.
What it really said was, we do a lot. We market the home, we get it on social, we pay to have it boosted, we pay to get it out to other people, to advertise it.
Professional photos, and we have walkthrough tours and video tours and on and on. Right,
and we,
right.
Everything social that we spend so much time on. And Sam, who's sitting here, our producer, right, spends so much time on as our full-time marketing guy. Once you actually get in the house, it's up to the seller to present it well and make sure it smells good. The whole sniff test, make sure the lights are on. So we can market the heck out of the property. But if it doesn't show to the price and the conditions it's being represented, it might not sell right away.
I mean, you can market the heck out of a property and get people excited about it, but it still has to present well when you're actually at the property. And that segues right into our topic about what does marketing your home actually mean for a homeowner, Tracy?
Yeah. So once you decide to sell your home, of course, we work with you to determine the best strategy to reach the potential buyers to attract strong offers. And some of the things to consider: how will other buyers and other brokers know that we're selling their home, right? Of course, we know what we do, and we can go through that with sellers, and we talk about all the ways we market it. So we market it to the realtor community. We market it to the social community. We market it through every avenue we can. And then we make sure that there's a sign. We do open houses. We get flyers. We do videos. We do all of those things, right? And when we sit down with home sellers, we have a booklet we go through to show them all the ways that we market. And one of the things that's sort of unique, Tego, is we work really hard to market to people who might not be known as potential buyers. And we get buyers from across the whole country and the whole world. I mean, we've definitely sold properties before to people from overseas.
Well, when we put together our marketing strategies and we do our strategy sessions, we always talk about it's the buyers we know, the buyers we don't know, and the buyers we should know. And how do we connect with those people? And there's different strategies to connect with those different people. But back to what we were talking about, we can do all that, and we can connect with the buyers, and we can get them excited about the house. But what should the seller be doing? Because they have a responsibility to make sure that the home is presented and merchandised, as I say a lot of times.
It's all about
for when the showing happens.
Right. It's all about the prep, the staging, and inside and outside. So clean up the yard. This past 2 months, every seller we've worked with has pretty much had to clean up their yard. There's still been leaves and everything
it's that
looks
time of year.
brown.
Yeah.
The wind has blown things into the corners of every fence line in the country right now, right? So we want to make sure that it's ready, that it's presented in the very best light that the seller can do. Not every seller has that opportunity to make a house shine, and we work with that on a different level. But making sure that your house is available for those showings when people request it. We know it's a pain a lot of times when you're living in the house, especially when you have other family members or children there or pets there, and you've got to gather everybody up, get the house ready, and leave, and get all the lights on and open the curtains.
So actually, this is a question that comes up is like, well, how do showings work? We just kind of say that and take it for granted, but what does that actually mean to the home seller? What is a showing? How is that coordinated?
It's so nice these days, Tego. We have an app for that.
Yeah.
Right? We have an app where we set up so that the seller or sellers can get notified when another realtor wants to show the home. And we can set the parameters of what they can request. So we can say, I'm going to go in my back end and say, you can't show the house before 10 a.m. or after 5 p.m. or after 9 p.m. or whatever, and only on these days. And that we can say it requires zero notice. You can just get an immediate acceptance of your showing, or we can set it up where the seller says yes or no. And if they download the app, they can actually reply and say, any chance you could move that to a little bit later, and try to negotiate a better time for them. So that's how it gets arranged.
Remember back in the day especially when we had 7,000 homes on the market at one point, and you'd have to call every single seller
To schedule a time.
schedule it and move it around. So yeah, it is a very efficient system. And then we do have the electronic lockbox system that's secure. Only realtors have access to get into that system to do it. And there's very strict rules on what a realtor can do and can't do with showing. They do have to follow whatever the specific showing instructions are of the seller and the listing broker. And if they don't, there's some consequences for that. So that's good too. Again, that's just a protection for the homeowner. People, realtors can't just show up at any time and go look at your house without following the instructions.
Right.
I mean, they could, but they're going to
That doesn't
their hand
happen.
slapped. Yeah, no, it doesn't.
So the electronic lockbox we put on the house, I've had people call me or home sellers call me and say, I locked myself out of the house. Can you give me a code to get in? I'm like, sorry, there isn't a code. It's an electronic system where we have to have the authority, and it's like downloaded into our phone from the local realtor association where we pay for this to have that access. and we have to know the codes in our phone to make it connect to the electronic lockbox.
And then there's also a default time of day too. So even if you wanted to show it after 7 or 9 or whatever it is p.m., you can't. The lockbox stopped working, during. And again, that's something we set up for safety.
The lockboxes come pre-programmed, and they start at 9 a.m. Obviously, we know how to reprogram them, and a lot of times we reprogram them for 7 a.m. because daylight savings time comes, and then we have a home inspector who schedules at 8 in the morning, and they can't get in, right? And we can't just give them a code, right? So we usually reprogram our lock boxes because of those inspections.
So the last thing, so we've kind of been talking here about marketing your home and all that stuff. But what role does the actual list price have on the marketing?
Well,
and is list price part of your marketing strategy?
Well, it certainly should be, right? If you're not in the right price range, we can market the heck out of your property and get everybody in the world to know about it. But if it's not priced competitively for what the property is, we probably aren't going to get the right buyer.
When we started our show off today, I was talking about 41% of all the homes that are currently on the market in Albuquerque, active for sale, have reduced price already at some point. I don't know by how much, but they've, I actually do. It's about 4% on average. So you got to hit that price right based on what the competition is, based on what other homes is sold for, what the current market activity is. All those things have to come into account. And of course, the condition of the home is a big deal too.
So I'm going to wrap up our session with one last topic.
Okay.
I want to talk about...
Wait, is this a surprise topic? Are you surprising me?
No, I'm talking about our home of the week.
Oh, okay.
Of course. So home of the week, 145 Leal Lane in Corrales.
Oh, yeah.
L-E-A-L, Leal Lane in Corrales. It's a really unique, special property. It's very much why people move to Corrales, right? There's a main home. It's an acre or almost an acre. There's the main home, and then there's a guest house with 2 bedrooms potential. One of the bedrooms, the door out of the bedroom goes into the garage. There's a single-car garage attached to the guest house. So, if that's really a bedroom, you've got people maybe going in and out of your bedroom to get into the garage. But okay, it's a guest house. How many places have a guest house, right? And then, it's kind of off the end of a lane, not much traffic. It's about 3 or 4 houses off of Corrales Road. So a very nice, peaceful setting, big trees, and it's just a really nice property. So if you're looking for your little spot for Corrales, it's $795,000. Let us know. We'd be happy to schedule a time for you to see it. If you're thinking about selling, we'd be honored to feature your home on our podcast.
Awesome. Well, it's Tego and Tracy Venturi, the Venturi Group of Real Broker here in Albuquerque. You can always reach us at 505-448-8888. Our website is welcomehomeabq.com, or just Google us, the Venturi team or Venturi Group with an I, Venturi, and you'll find us. We're all over the place.
Totally.
Well, we appreciate you tuning in. If you got any questions, again, about your real estate, or if you got any questions that kind of came to mind while you're listening, drop it in the comments, and we'll follow up and give you some feedback and talk about it on the next week's show.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Take care. Thanks for watching the video all the way to the end. We appreciate you, and please click subscribe. We'll keep you updated on what's going on with real estate in the Albuquerque area and New Mexico, and of course, across the entire country. Have a great one.